So today on Conversations with Neighbours, we're sitting down with Mark McCartney from BrokerLink, one of Canada's leading insurance brokerages and one of the most connected guys in Aurora. Mark not only helps families and businesses find the right insurance coverage, he's also at the heart of Aurora's social and sports scene, from running the J-Bog Hockey League with his brother to being a familiar face at Phillies and Omar's. We'll be talking about insurance, community, and what it means to be the guy people call when things go sideways. So let's jump right in. So for people who don't know, give us the simple version. What is BrokerLink and how do you help people?
So BrokerLink is Canada's largest insurance brokerage. It was founded on an idea back in 1991 of joining or connecting or linking, as I like to say, small brokerages throughout Canada in various cities and towns, and using those brokers as a complete network to assist people placing their insurance or helping them solve their problems with their portfolios. So it started in 1991 with, I think, one or two acquisitions up north. And today it's over 200 brokerages across Canada with over 3,700 employees. So what started off as an idea has really come to fruition. And you can pretty much find us in most towns, outskirts. We're there to help people and easily to be found.
And I worked with the BrokerLink brokerage as well. So really cool. Yeah.
Which one?
His name's Byron. I totally forget his last name, but he's based in Mississauga, so it's not too far away.
Okay.
Yeah. So you work with over 100 insurance companies. What's the biggest advantage of that for clients?
Choice. When you're dealing with a direct writer, I won't say names, they only have one product really to offer you, their automobile, their homeowners. When you're dealing with a broker who is independent, we have contracts or connections with various markets. Now, it might not be quite 100 anymore because of all the acquisitions of the insurance companies over the years, but definitely a large selection. And some of them are smaller ones. Maybe people don't even know. Peel Mutual, Wawanesa Mutual, Farmers. These are markets that we have availability to that may be better pricing for you, might have a better product for you. And that's what a broker does. We match your needs to the best carrier, not just one carrier.
Mm-hmm. You said that your pitch is simple. Everyone needs insurance. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to inform. So what does that look like in practice?
Well, I'm going to go back to your opening statement, when it goes sideways. Please don't call me when it goes sideways. Your conversation is supposed to be before it goes sideways. Okay. There was a broker in town. I can't remember their name right at the moment, but their tagline was, call us before you need us. And that is so true, because after the loss, after the fact, after the sideways doesn't help. So what do? Somebody comes to me, they're referred to me, I generically meet them at the hockey rink or something. The discussion normally eventually will land on insurance because it's a despised topic. Nobody likes insurance, let's be honest. So I just listen. I listen to their needs. I listen to what they're upset about. And I say, listen, let's have a conversation. I've seen this before. I've addressed this before. And the biggest problem I find is most consumers aren't educated enough with insurance. They know a lot of, my neighbor says this, my aunt's boyfriend tells me this, or my uncle's brother's dog sitter's cousin told me this is what. Listen, unless you're dealing with an insurance professional, there's a lot of misconception. So we cut through all that. We try to make it as painless as possible. But more importantly, we educate our consumer. We educate our client so they are fully aware of what they need and what we can do for them. And that's just the approach I've taken from day one. I'm not a hard salesperson. I let my conversation sell myself and my product. And I've found over the years, I may not be successful this year, but I personally believe I give more conversation and more information in a 15-minute discussion that I say our industry is cyclical. Normally within a 24-month span, that person will reach back out and they'll say, you know what, I remember that conversation we had a year ago and I want to follow up with it.
That's awesome. Good impact.
Yeah.
You've helped Paul from Foundation BTS when he had a flood. My first question is, did he approach you before things went sideways or when things went sideways?
He did. And you know what, I am happy to say I started with, Paul and I went to high school together. I didn't know him. I'm a few years younger than him, and I went to school, like his younger brother was in my grade. So I knew the name LePage. Then he joined the professional referrals organization, which we'll discuss later.
Talk about that.
And then he's joined the hockey league as well. But I started with him when he was just starting off foundations. And I've seen him grow, and it's amazing. So as he's grown with his journey and his success, we've had to put in different policies. We've had to increase policies. We've had to monitor what exposures he's going to have now that he's as successful as he is.
Mm-hmm. So it's not a one and done.
It is
game.
Never a one and done for two reasons. A, everyone's criteria changes all the time. Okay. Personal, you're married, your family, your kids off to university, retirement, like criteria is constantly changing. So the insurance you put in today is not going to be what you require 3 years from now. Same with commercial. If you're a starting business, obviously your insurance might be a little lower than what you need, right? Like a lot of people just want their liability. They're not too concerned about their equipment and everything. But as they grow and they start acquiring clients and their assets build, maybe their global reach builds, like first started in Ontario, then he went across Canada, now he's into the States, and maybe Europe. You have to address those needs. And again, that wasn't there day one, but it might be there year 3. So yes, insurance is constantly changing and you always have to look into it.
Be aware.
Be aware. Be very aware.
And revisit. I think treat it like an asset, right? Like as your business is growing, you get so caught up in the day-to-day, you're probably not thinking about what your insurance needs are as you're growing.
Absolutely. As I say, people do not like addressing insurance. They open their envelope, but come renewal time, they don't look at the coverages. They don't look if anything has changed. And insurance companies do tend to slip things in there.
Right.
General public is not aware of it, and they just renew and wish for the best, I guess you could say.
Yeah. So that's where things can go sideways.
That's where they can go sideways.
So let's talk about this flood that Paul had. So what drives you to step in and help in these kinds of situations?
Okay, so a claim is, first off, people are very distraught when it happens. Everyone thinks it's not that big of a deal. It is, whether it's personal or commercial. This is your baby, for lack of a better word. This is your personal connection. And when you see damage done to it, it's disheartening. So a lot of people don't understand the process of a claim. I used to be a claims adjuster. I started in the industry as a claims adjuster. So I kind of know the ropes. I know the direction. I know who to call. So with Paul, because obviously computers and electronics, it was imperative we got on that claim right away, which is what I did. So I was able to walk him through, provided him with the proper information so the claim wouldn't drag, put him in touch with a very good company called Foley Restoration. I've been dealing with them since 1994. I trust them. They have done so many claims handlings for us. So I just call them. They go in, they mitigate the loss, they take care of it, they stop where the water's coming from as best they can. And they went from there. So I try to relax the client. And with Paul, yes, I did a little hand holding, but he was appreciative of it because he had never been through that before. Mm-hmm. And most people have not been through a claim before.
No, you hope not to.
Absolutely.
Let's jump over to, so we mentioned PRO, the Professional Referrals Organization. So tell us what that's all about and how it's helped you grow personally and professionally.
I love this story. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I know you know, but PRO, Professional Referrals Organization, we are a group of like-minded entrepreneurs, and we meet every Friday for breakfast, and we discuss business opportunities, referrals. That's what it is. You have 15 to 19, maybe 20 other trades or businesses, and they're your word of mouth. They're your advertising. And you build these personal relations with them, and they trust you. So when you're sitting there at a party, maybe tonight when you're at the awards, the Aurora Awards, and you're like, you overhear somebody talking about insurance, and you're like, you know what? I know someone, Mark McCartney. Why don't you reach out to him? Because you trust me. You know I'm going to treat them properly. You know from my experience in history that they're going to be okay. They're going to be in good hands. To steal Allstate's slogan, but they're going to be taken care of. Okay. So I've been doing that. I started with BNI back in 2005, and I stayed there for about 2 years. And then I've been with Pro 17 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I highly recommend it for anybody who's in the sales or they have a product or a service that they want to promote. I do not have to do print advertising. I don't have a strong social media presence. I don't need it because why? I have 15 plus people who trust me, and they refer me to their clients. They refer me to their friends. So one of the people is a real estate agent. So if they're dealing with new clients looking for a home, they refer me. We have a lawyer. Same thing. Like if they're closing and there's no insurance, they refer, and you feel comfortable. And much myself, I refer to them as well. And that's the whole principle of the referral group.
That's great.
Absolutely.
In person, like the tried and true way, right?
Yeah.
And I think that means so much that people give a recommendation.
Absolutely. And it's a great group. Like I've been in a lot of board of trades, chamber meetings,
networking groups, everyone
different
knows.
Networking group. Yeah, everyone's been there. This one, I can honestly say, is probably one of the most enjoyable ones I've ever been to. We are both a mixture of serious when it comes to referring business to one another, but we're also very lighthearted, good sense of humor, and we know everybody's lives. Like everybody knows, how's your grandson? Your daughter's expecting. Oh, hey, how's the new car? Like we all know, and they all know I run the hockey league, and there's a few members like Pierre Bonhomme from Chiguers and Bonhomme. He's in the league, and we taunt each other, like especially if we played hockey on the Thursday night against each other, right? I go, hey Pierre, you're sucking
game.
you weren't that great last night, Pierre. But although his team did win 2 championships back to back, so I can't fuck up too much.
Why do you think that genuine referrals and community-driven business matters more today than ever?
I think it's more real. Unfortunately, with social media, I find obviously there's a lot of deep fakes. There's a lot of misinformation out there. When it's referred, it's real. Like who is contacting who, and the experience behind it. And I'm the same with B2B and business to business. We got to get back to those more genuine connections because I just think there's more believability, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder it's a lot easier, I should say, than just clicking an ad on TikTok and you're being put through to a random stranger. And I mean, is that real? So he's got 100 Google reviews saying he's the best, tradesperson or best salesperson for that particular industry. But are those AI generated reviews? Are they just friends that are putting in multiple reviews under? So I'm old school. I believe in face-to-face. I believe in handshake, and I believe in personal referrals amongst each other.
Love it. Okay, let's jump over to hockey.
Hockey.
J-Bog Hockey League. So
Yes.
This has really become a hub for the community. You and your brother run it.
Yeah.
What's it like to be the center of this social heartbeat of Aurora?
Well, I'd be lying if I say I'm shy. So, I love it. And prior to J-Bog, I was always playing Thursday nights just recreationally. And, I'll be the first to admit I'm probably the worst player in the league. Okay. You're too young to know the Canadian Tire Albert commercials where nobody would pick Albert. And then the brother says, come on, Albert, you can come on my team. Then he turns out to be great. Well, I'm Albert, but I never turned out to be great. But no, so it started just recreationally. I was playing shinny and I heard there was a Monday night hockey league in town and that had been going forever. And my Law Insurance Brokers, which was a family-owned business, 110 years, we actually just merged with BrokerLink because my older brother and sister had to retire. And we were a sponsor of this Monday Night League for over 30 years. And I tried to join one year and they wouldn't let me. So again, I guess they heard of my skill level. But so I'm like, okay, whatever. So then on the Thursday nights, I'm like, you know what, we should start our own league. And I just found there was a lot of interest from people in Aurora who were either new to the area or just weren't good enough. And they couldn't get into these leagues because they were so tight knit. And I don't blame that. Like, I mean, when a league's been going for so many years, obviously they have their returning players and everything like that. So I started it and bless her soul, Judy Sharon, who the Arena and Industrial is named after. I used to go in every single Friday morning to pay for the night before, the Thursday night, the rec. I just started talking to her. I said, Judy, if you could ever get me a few hours in a row, I would love to start a league and everything. And she managed it. Like she was bumping around the AMHA, she was bumping around other rentals. And again, I go back to that face-to-face referral and handshake. And we started from there. So we're up to 6 teams, 90 guys, pretty much all local. They love it. We're a no-nonsense, safe league. We don't tolerate roughness or anything. And guys love the league.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Classic underdog story. Found your own way.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely. And we've had a lot of compliments, and they're like, we don't know how you guys run we're one of the lowest price leagues. We're fully officiated. We're fully insured. So if, unfortunately, if someone did get injured, they're covered, right? Imagine that, an insurance broker having insurance for a hockey league. But it's great. And then 2 or 3 times during the season, we'll host some get-togethers, and we pick up the tab, we pay for all the food and the drinks and everything. And guys come up and say, how do you do this? Like, this is the best league I've ever been in, right? So
that's awesome. That's the feel good.
That's absolutely the feel good.
Love that. What does that sense of connection through hockey and community mean to you personally?
It's great. It's a great feeling walking into the arena or to Philly or anywhere in Aurora and running into one of these people who, there's a saying, there's no such thing as a stranger. It's just a friend you haven't met yet.
I love that.
Right?
Especially because people really distrust strangers so much.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, I don't know, not like maybe more of like a new school kind of idea that we don't trust people. So I really like that mentality.
And I love the fact that these are 90 guys who are kind of like a referral network for me. I'm not expecting business from them, but again, over the years, they see how we run the league and they trust us. And they're like, hey, can you now look at our insurance? And probably I'm going to say 55, 60% of my league is now clientele. And again, I never approach them. They approach me.
It just happens organically.
Absolutely. But the other great thing about it is walking in somewhere and I see them as like, hey, Mike, how you doing? How are the kids? Hey, Jimmy, how's, you had surgery. How's the foot coming along? And now that is the joy of being small town Aurora, right? You really get to know your connections. But it's great. And the other thing is the intercommunication with the leagues. We're not I know I'm bouncing around here, but we are a draft league, which means each year you're playing with different people. A lot of hockey leagues just say, what team do you want? You can put your team in.
That's your group.
And unfortunately, we find that causes a lot of problems, right? Being a draft league, you may be with somebody this year who, next year you're not, and somebody doesn't like him. But you can say, hey, no, I know Jimmy. I know, he's a great guy. Don't get mad because, you think he was intentionally trying too hard on you. But that's what happens. There's a lot of intercommunication. And these guys, 2 guys, I love telling this story, they are huge Depeche Mode fans and Pet Shop Boys, but their wives hate it. So when the
match made in heaven.
when the tour came in last year, these 2 guys went down together. And they would never have known each other 3 years ago, but they met, they were on the same team, started realizing they had very similar interests, and now they have a great friendship. To the point where they're doing all these things together. They get together at St. Louis, watch it, and they're huge soccer fans, huge. And they just go over there and watch. And so I like seeing that. I like knowing that.
Those are the connections.
I like knowing that I kind of created that.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. And it's really cool too, because a lot of people that you would have played with before you'd have a great rapport with, and it builds like this friendly competition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Back to Pierre. He and I just banter all the time, like on the Friday mornings, right?
Yeah, that's great.
It's great. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Love that. Okay, let's jump over to people. So you've built your career and reputation around helping people, whether it's through insurance, hockey, or friendship. What's the most rewarding part of being like a connector in the community?
I really enjoy helping people get things they need, right? Like maybe I'm not the individual who actually provides something, but if somebody calls me and says, Mark, I need this, or do you know somebody who can do this? Or I'm like, hey, listen, yeah, absolutely. Let me connect you to Marcel. Let me connect you to Raz, right? Oh, you need shoes and you need like a nice outfit for tonight's award shows. Have you been to Omar's? Have you seen what they offer, right? And I'm not looking for any pat on the back or anything like that. That's just my personality. I've always considered myself helpful. Like I want to help people. And if the end goal is they get what they need, great. If I can't help them, well, at least I tried.
Yeah. And it's that trickle down effect too, because it's helping them. It's helping where you've sent them to.
Absolutely.
And you feel good about doing it and you'll do it again.
Absolutely.
I love that. Okay. So this is the perfect segue. So we're talking about like restaurants and Omar's and stuff. So we know that you're a big fan of Phillies. So tell us about the go-to order.
Okay. You know what? It just depends on what Kumar, who's their chef cook, it depends on what his specials are. As I say, I've never had a bad meal at the Philly, and I know a lot of people say that. Their portion sizes are amazing. Whether my wife, she loves the blackened salmon on salad. I won't lie, I've had a lot of chicken wings there. They're delicious, but their steak, is incredible. Their fish and chips is great. Their fish tacos. If you have not
I'm a big fish
if
taco
you have not
fan.
been there on a Tuesday, fish tacos.
Okay, noted.
You know, people joke, well, my old office, Law Insurance Brokers, was right beside it. We shared parking lots basically. So, I mean, it was just easiest for us
It's a dangerous
to walk
combo.
there. And I'm not going to say I know the menu inside out, but you know, Monday is nachos, Tuesday is tacos, Wednesday is wings, Thursday is burgers, and then Friday they just have, you know, a lot of different specials. Their meatloaf will put you to bed for like early. Like I think they put about 2 pounds of beef in their meatloaf and then it's smothered with gravy, bacon, and mashed potato. Like you will not leave this establishment hungry. And the staff is incredible. Nem, the bartender, Natalie, Emily, the owners, Dave and Kathy, they're genuinely hands-on and they want to see their clients happy, and it just makes for a good atmosphere, a good positive. When you're spending a lot of money, because food isn't cheap these days, you want value for your money, and I feel they provide that.
Totally sounds like it. And it's nice to have that like in-person touch too, because when you go out, like you want to know that, like you said, you're getting value and it's not always in the food anymore because it is so expensive. So
right. Yeah. So Nem, he's a great bartender. Like he's always there filling up your drink, or just, he's very attentive. He's got great stories. He just recently got married, he and his wife, in Iceland, and he's showing us the photos. He's proud. He's showing us, you know, and it's great. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah. So there's Philly, there's Joya. I can't say enough about Joya as well. One of my favorite places.
Another classic spot.
Absolutely.
Let's also talk about, you know, Raz and May from Omar's.
I do.
How did that friendship come about?
Funny story. And it's Raz he's a close friend. And he comes down to Myrtle Beach golfing with us each year, okay, in our men's group. And that was started by my father back in 89. I was 14 years old when we started. I'm not going to tell you my age now, but let's just say it's been over 30 years. And Raz joined us, maybe I'm going to say about 20 years ago, because he was really good friends with my late brother-in-law, Len Leach. And I met Raz on a Sunday afternoon at Harborview Golf Course up in Guilford. And it was so long ago, he had hair, as I like to say. And Raz was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, you weren't that shiny bald guy. You had hair." So I met him way back then. And, you know, I've known him through business. I've known him through personal. I've known, like I said, he comes golfing with us. You know, we're part of the Thursday Night Men's League at Westview. And just, he's a great, you know what, you want to talk about a great citizen, a great person. He and May are incredible people.
Absolutely they are. I think almost everyone in Aurora knows, but sounds like you know especially well. So my next question that's like the part of that is, what does local business camaraderie look like in Aurora?
Supporting one another, helping one another. That's the camaraderie between businesses, right? I like Tina's Midas on Yonge Street, right? Like all of these business are important to our community. I don't know if everyone realizes that, but we have to support them, especially right now during these tough economic times. But there's not a store that I deal with that I can say I have any negative interactions with. And I don't know if some of it's still the small town attitude, the small mom and pop attitude, but it's incredibly important to keep those networks going and, you know, referring them.
Yeah.
And helping each other.
Definitely. And I like to seeing businesses that might be considered competition, but treat each other as just a next business, and maybe they'll refer, you know, you there if they don't have what you're looking for, and they're happy to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I do that myself. Like, listen, insurance, there's a big segment out there. And can I write everything? Well, maybe, but it would take me forever. But I know there are brokers out there who specialize in certain niches. One of them is life insurance. So for probably the last 18 years, I've used someone by the name of Helene Meyer, and she's taken that off of my plate. And when somebody calls me about their life insurance, I can just very easily speak to Helene. And I'm going to say at least half of my clients use her because A, I've referred her, but B, she's just wonderful. Right?
That's great.
So, and that's what we need. We need promoting of each other, businesses, competitive or not.
Yeah, big time.
You know, I'm a huge believer in karma.
Yes, so am I.
So there you go.
And it says a lot too when people take your referrals, right? Like that tells you a lot when, if you say 50% of people that you've recommended to her use her, that tells you a lot too. So,
well, the one thing I'm very proud of, I know we're skipping around and jumping around.
That's okay.
But you're talking about clients. I have a large client base of 20 plus years. So they're not jumping around. So like I've been with these, like I started as an adjuster when I was about 19, 20 years old, went into the brokerage when I was about 23 years old. So people that I was meeting when I was like early 20s and maybe they were in their 30s, like I've been there. I've seen their families grow up. I've been there when I've seen their spouses pass away. I've been there when there's been health issues, cancer and everything like that. Like these just aren't numbers to me. I know these people. I know their backstories. And one of my favorite ones is a gentleman, I call him Izzy. He came here literally with the dime in his pocket, if that. And he started as a janitor, working nights. He had to do what he had to do. By the end of his career, he owned 7 companies. The man was worth a large sum of money. But every time he called me, he would always say, Mark, how's your family? How's your health? How's everything? He never talked business first. And I always used him as a learning experience. Like this man was, obviously he employed hundreds of people. He had 7 companies, as I said. He was very well known in his industry, but he was humble. He never forgot where he came from. And he always mentioned that first. And I learned from him and I appreciated him. And that's how I learn. And that's how I bring it to my clients. And I think that is why clients trust me, because I've learned their personal lives, not just their car insurance or their home insurance. I've learned about them, their family, their trials, their tribulations. Some are more outgoing than others. Others are like, hey, gone. But others.
Well, you'll still cater to that need too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that, so I built this very large client list, and a lot of them, like I said, are 20 plus years. So yeah, if they call me and say, I need a mechanic, or I need HVAC, or I need this, or can you help me with this? Here you go. And they tend to reach out.
And that's great. What a great learning.
Absolutely.
That's perfect. Okay, let's do the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
I'm shocked. You don't meet too many tea people anymore. So I always feel like coffee is like such a standard like guy thing.
Yeah. Listen, I drink a lot of coffee. I'm not going to lie. And if we're going to ask who, I prefer McDonald's coffee. It's the best. But for the most part, I'm of Irish descent and Scottish descent. So tea was a staple in my household growing up. So we'd have it for breakfast. We'd have it for dinner. So yeah, I'm a tea guy.
Okay. I'll give that one to you. Okay. I like this question. What's your favorite local event in Aurora?
Okay. So I love Ribfest.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I really love about Ribfest is going down memory lane. And when they bring in the bands like The Spoons, Glass Tiger, Honeymoon Suite, Kim Mitchell, like, you know what? It's a throwback to the 80s, which, let's face it, was the greatest time ever. I know a lot of people argue that, but it was the greatest time ever with music and growing up and everything. So yeah, it's a real flashback. And so I really like that. So
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good answer.
I mean, the street sale's a close second.
Okay. Yes, it's a huge one.
Yeah, it's a huge draw.
If you weren't in insurance, what would you be doing?
Chef, cooking.
Cool.
Yeah, cooking. I seriously thought about going into hospitality and George Brown Culinary. And I actually worked at what is now the retirement home, the hotel. It used to be called the Hotel Aurora. And I was working under a chef there by the name of Basil. And he was a magician with food. He was an amazing mentor. But I saw how hard the life of a chef was. Like he was there Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like, he made a lot of sacrifice for the time to be there. And I'm like, is this really what I want to do? And I'm like, nah. So I steered away from that. And I was going through school to be, I went through marketing and business, and I was hoping to get into the golf industry. But at the time when I had graduated, the economy was in a downswing. Again, I'm not going to say what year to age myself. So I was like watching golf one day, like on a Sunday afternoon on the TV, and my dad came in and he said, listen, you like to golf, you're social, you like to get out to events and drink. He goes, just come into the insurance industry. So I did. And surprisingly, it took a hold.
It stuck.
Yeah.
And you can still, cook in your spare time, golf in your spare time, host tournaments.
That's right.
And hockey. So
my end goal is when I retire, I'd love to volunteer in a soup kitchen.
That's a great goal.
I'd love to volunteer. I've always said that. So, one day.
Yeah, one day. Perfect. Put it on the list. What's your post-game go-to meal after hockey?
Okay. I'd be lying if I didn't say beers and chicken wings.
Classic.
Absolutely. No. But you know what? Not surprisingly, a lot of restaurants don't stay open late anymore. So
I've noticed that too. It's
getting
hard
harder
to get,
and harder to find a restaurant. Like we used to go to Tom and Jerry's religiously, like after Tuesday and Thursdays. But that went by the wayside. And then like we'd call Wicked Eats, and like Rob's a great guy, and obviously, and I don't blame him. But he's like, no, I have to close. I'm going to close tonight at 10. And we're like, oh well, we're off at 11:30. So, and I get it. Like, I mean, these restaurateurs, they're not getting the crowds in, and why are they going to keep people employed or keeping there for 3 hours of no business? So I get it. So St. Louis is great on a Thursday night. We go there, right?
Yep.
About 20 of us, 10 to 20 of us, depending on what time the game is. And
You hockey guys stay out late.
Listen, when I first started this, I could stay out easily till 2, 3. Like, not that we did, but I could, by the time I got to bed, and I could get up to work, no problem next morning. If I tried to do that today, I'd be gone. Like, I'd be out of it for like 3 or 4 days.
Maybe they're closing down early in accordance with your age.
Yeah. Listen, I now understand why seniors love their early bird special at 4:30, okay? Because then they could be in bed by like 8 or 9.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, but no, the chicken wings, I think you're correct. I think that's the most common. You know what it is? You're just looking for a little something to just recharge.
That's
right?
it. That's it. And the social aspect and all that good stuff.
You know what? The social aspect is more for our hockey than the hockey itself.
I believe that.
Our guys don't care if they lose, right? They're just there for the camaraderie.
Yeah.
They love the social aspect of it.
That's the way it should be. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, let's end on a great question. The best advice you've ever been given?
I'm going to do it this split. I'm going to do 2.
Okay.
Because there's personal and there's professional.
Great.
Professional, the best advice I was ever given was by my dad, who owned the brokerage. He said, Mark, you're in a win-win situation with insurance. He goes, when you're selling, you're either going to provide a better price and product, so you win. And even if you don't gain the client, you've educated them to what they need, or you've told them they have a good product, good price, they win. So it's a win-win. Nobody walks away mad. So that was the personal or professional advice. And to this day, I still do it. And that's going back to that conversation where I might talk to somebody, a prospective or a prospective client today. Maybe I don't get them today, but a year from now, maybe. Mm-hmm. So that's the win-win professionally. Personally, and this is just kind of something with me, I like to know people's names. Be proud of your name. And I like to know how to pronunciate a name properly. Because you know what? It's your name. It's you. So one of my little pet peeves is when I hear, like if I meet somebody and I'm not sure of how to pronounce their name, like I will literally go up and, how do I say your name properly? How do you want to hear your name? Like, obviously it doesn't happen with the name Mark or John or Jack, but I hate being in a situation where maybe I mispronounce somebody's name because it's embarrassing for me and it's embarrassing for a friend, a client, a contact.
Totally.
So that's just my little personal thing that I like to make sure.
I
respect
like that.
people.
It's important, and it is a respect to make sure that you pronounce someone's name. That's who they are, right? Yeah. And that's how they are presenting themselves to the world. So it's really important.
Be proud of your name.
Yeah. That's great.
If somebody says it wrong, correct them. It's that simple.
And how many people shorten their name or simplify their name to, make it easier to say or pronounce or.
I won't tell you what Raz's real name is. You can go into Omar's and ask him, but it's just easier to call him Raz.
Fair.
Raz or Razzie, as we like to bug him.
Razzie suits him, I think.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to address or say that we haven't got to?
No, I think we've had a great meeting. Listen, I tell everybody when it comes to insurance, a lot of people open the envelope and they just look at the price and they say, most people pay monthly. And they say, oh, last year I was paying $100 a month. Now I'm paying $105 a month. Oh, I'll accept that, right? But they don't go into the second, third, or fourth page. They don't look for changes. Like review your coverages, know what you're buying. Because my tagline at my professional referrals organization is, you may be insured, but are you covered?
Ooh, that's good.
Right? Because a lot of people don't realize, like if you look at the first page of a policy, it says in bright red, this policy contains a clause that can limit your pay. People don't even realize what that's about, but they could have sewer backup coverage, limit it or restrict it to $50,000. And they think, oh, well, I've got sewer backup coverage. Well, yeah, you do, but only to 50,000. And if it happens, it takes on average 25 to 30,000 to mitigate that loss just to get the water out of your basement. People don't realize that. People, when they purchase their insurance based on price, they're going to have problems later on when things go sideways.
Listen to that advice, people. For anyone who wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So BrokerLink, the phone number is my direct phone number, 905-727-1913, and it's extension 41323. Ideally, I prefer contact through email because it allows time stamping, and if a conversation is going on for maybe a few weeks, you don't forget what's being said. So there's obviously a trail. And my email address is MA McCartney. So it's MAMCCARTNEY @brokerlink.ca.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming on Conversations with Neighbours. I
loved
learned a
it.
lot, and
Yeah,
I
loved it.
appreciate
Thank you.
everything from hearing about insurance to your connection with Aurora. You've been a long time person here, so that's great.
Since 1976,
Wow.
77.
Okay.
I was 5 years old when we moved up here from Willowdale.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Seen a lot of change.
No kidding.
Thank you.
Thanks.